She is the authority on follow-up and the founder of a breakthrough training company, Power Up Your Follow-Up. She works closely with small business owners, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals who aren't getting enough clients, and it's probably because they're not following up. I've done that in the past, but I now work with Debbie, so that's a moot point. She helps them create step-by-step follow-up systems for their business and converts more prospects into long-term clients without feeling salesy. Debbie was a successful investment banker with 20 years experience as managing director for Wall Street firms. Her extraordinary organizational skills were instrumental in building prosperous business relationships, resulting in sales of over $25 billion. That's a B. She also has extensive experience as a network marketer, entrepreneur, having built an international team of thousands of consultants. And Debbie has authored a new book highlighting her proven follow-up system, and it's due out this year. Welcome to the stage, Debbie Hoffman.
So I'm going to come down and hang out with you guys. Is that okay? Or you gals? Because I can't see you from up here, and I want to connect, because that was my intention today, right, was to connect with people. So first, wherever Rebecca is, I just want to thank her so much for inviting me to speak here. It's such an honor and privilege to be here with all you amazing women, so I just want to thank her for the opportunity. And I want to acknowledge all of you for taking like a whole day on a Saturday. I know how hard that is, to leave family, friends, commitments, whatever you normally do, to be here and invest in yourself and your business. So I just really want to acknowledge all of you. So you all should have a handout, I hope you do. It looks like this. All right, fabulous. So there are some fill in the blanks for those of you who like to do that. And I'm going to be sharing some really cool statistics and things today that you might want to use this to fill in. So question for all of you. Raise your hand if you have a stack of business cards piling up on your desk that you haven't done anything with. Anyone? Yep. Okay, like almost the whole room, right? So you guys obviously get that's an issue, right? It's on my banner, right? Everybody talks about these business cards that are piling up on their desks. And then be honest, because this is a safe container. Do you hesitate to follow up with people because you're afraid of being salesy or pushy? Does that come up for anybody? Yeah, okay, that's another big one. Well, so many entrepreneurs I'm finding are leaving so much money on the table due to poor follow-up skills or an ineffective follow-up system, or probably both. And that's what I'm here to help you with today. So I want to ask you some questions, and you can fill this in on the form here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to ask you some questions. So 10 is you totally rock at it, okay? And 0 or 1 is you totally suck at it, okay? So do you plan every follow-up activity in advance? 1 to 10. 10's you're amazing at it. And then this is a yes or no question. Do you have a CRM system? And that stands for Customer Relationship Management System. And more importantly, if you have one, do you utilize it properly? Everyone always laughs at that. And then, are you effective at closing the sale? And I like to say inviting people to work with you. I don't really like the closing the sale language, but people get it, so I put it in there. So are you effective at inviting people to work with you? And then how well do you overcome objections? Are you prepared? I help my clients create what I call an objections library, which is a list of all the objections that you typically hear in your business and then how you would respond to them. And when people are prepared like that, it makes all the difference in the world. I'm going to be talking about that in a little bit. And then do you pre-qualify your prospects? Or do you chase unqualified leads too long? Okay. So I'd like you to write down what your biggest challenge is with follow-up, and I'd love some of you to just raise your hand and share. What's the biggest challenge that you have with follow-up? Anybody? Yes?
I would say, and even if I've worked with you in the past, it still is really implementing the suggestions that you said. So planning, like I'm at an event today, I've got a stack of business cards I've gotten from people, and actually getting them into a CRM and making some calls and doing something with that information.
Okay, anybody relate to that? You relate to that? So what to do with those cards when you get home from an event like this and actually getting them in the CRM? Great, that's very, very common. Thank you. Yes?
The effectiveness of my message when I do the follow-up, message not reaching them or affecting them when they receive it?
So leaving an effective message, like knowing what to say in your voicemail or your email, so that it gets a result, that it gets a response. Right. Okay. Anyone relate to that one? Yeah. Okay. That was a good one. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Deb.
The time to do it.
Okay. So.
Doing it in a timely manner.
Okay. So. It's usually something deeper than that. Because if you loved following up, you would make the time every single day to do. Think of the things that you love to do. You make time for them every day.
It's great, but I hate dialing the phone and saying, "Hi, it's me."
Okay, so there's something deeper that you'd want to explore with that. It's usually some fear of rejection or limiting belief, and we're going to be talking about that today. So thank you. So it's never the time, because if you love doing it, you would make the time. So just saying, explore that, okay? Great, thank you. Okay, so would it be okay, since we're going to be spending a few more minutes, if I shared a little bit about my journey and how I got here and actually how follow-up saved my life? Would that be okay? Thank you. As Kathleen mentioned, I worked on Wall Street for 20 years, and it was me in the early 80s with my shoulder pads. You remember those shoulder pads? Oh, yeah. And the guys. So I was working in a man's world with a lot to prove. And I was very successful very quickly, didn't realize it then, but looking back, what I realized, it was all about building relationships and creating value, like Miley was talking about so beautifully before, and really being good at follow-up. And I went on to become a managing director and became one of the top producers in my company. And then I had a son. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And I decided to leave the rat race and make a real difference, to spend more time with my family. Can any of you gals relate to that? I think a lot of us left corporate, right, so that we could be home with our family. So I quit a very high six-figure job, and I came home, and it was the best day of my life. And I've never looked back. And I became a wellness industry entrepreneur and built a very successful team of thousands of consultants. And I was teaching them how to effectively follow up and build a business through follow-up, and they went on to become very successful as a result. So everything was going along just fine until the real estate market crashed. My husband was a high-end custom home builder, and when the market crashed, we lost everything. And I'll never forget the moment when I came home, and there was this notice on our gate that our home had gone into foreclosure, and we had 48 hours to get out. 5,000 square foot home, 48 hours to get out. So you can imagine, it threw me into a deep depression. I was mortified, I was humiliated. Things got so bad financially that we were forced to file bankruptcy. And I mean, needless to say, it was the lowest point in my life. What saved me was finding a mentor. I remember I met a woman, a coach, who I knew could help me, and I said yes to myself. And boy, did that investment pay off, because she helped pull me out of that dark hole, and I'm so grateful for the support that I received from her. So then when I was done being a victim and I was ready to go back to work, I went to a conference where I had a booth with my wellness products, and a woman came up to me, was very interested in the products, wasn't ready to make a decision, so she asked me to follow up with her, which I did for 14 months. Anybody follow up with anybody for 14 months? Oh, wow, got a few people. All right. Well, you don't count. You don't count, because you're the queen of referrals. So she finally became a client, and I continued to follow up with her like I did with every client. One day she left me a message and said, "Debbie, you've got this amazing system. You got to tell me what your follow-up system is. I suck at it. I need help. We need to talk." And one thing led to the next, and we got on a phone call, and she said, "Debbie, no one follows up with me the way you do. Nobody calls me like this. You have this gift. You need to do something with this." And I didn't believe her. I had no idea that I had anything special. I didn't know that people were struggling with this. It just wasn't something that I knew. Don't we all have a gift, something that we just take for granted, right? That we don't even know, right? Don't we all have that? Well, it took her to share that with me to make me realize that I had something that I needed to do something with. And I'm so grateful for her for encouraging me to start this business, because now I've been able to help so many clients. I'm seeing my clients' businesses soar and take off, and it's just so, I'm just so grateful, because this never would have happened if it wasn't for her pointing this out to me. I would not be here today if it wasn't for her. So that's how follow-up saved my life. I had a system that I was able to tap right back into when I was ready to get back to work, and it helped me rebuild my business, and now it's just thriving, and I'm helping so many people, and so that's been my journey. So by the end of our time together today, and I just have a few short minutes, you're going to know the 3 challenges that entrepreneurs face, and how mastering your follow-up skills is critical to building a successful business. So number 1, and on the second page you can fill in the blanks if you want, I'm going to talk about what really is stopping people from following up. Number 2 is going to be about preparation, and number 3 is going to be about being organized and more efficient with your follow-up. So first I'm going to talk about how so many people are losing clients due to missed opportunities. People are dropping balls, they're procrastinating, and they're avoid following up for all sorts of reasons. And these reasons usually come down to fears, limiting beliefs, and stories that we make up, Sue's shaking her head, that stop us dead in our tracks. And so we leave the follow-up for later, or like avoid it altogether. Anyone relate to that? Like just putting, like not even doing it, right? The problem with this is that follow-up is fundamental to building your business. You can't build a business without follow-up. And what I find is that people are making everything else in their business more important than follow-up. So just imagine this. What if, well, a question. The biggest limiting belief that I hear about why people aren't following up is that they're afraid of being salesy or pushy, and some of you did raise your hands for that. So did you ever have an experience where someone followed up with you in a way that felt salesy or pushy, so you decided that you didn't want to be like that, right? That's not authentic to who you are? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can actually follow up in a way that feels compelling and connected instead of salesy and repelling. So imagine this. What if when you followed up, you were letting your potential client know that you were showing up in service to them and that you really cared about them? That would create a really different experience of following up, wouldn't it? Right? Well, your clients or potential clients are waiting for you to follow up with them. They are waiting for you to show up in service to them and their needs. People love it when you follow up. People thank me all the time for following up with them. It shows that you're a professional. It shows that you really believe in what you have to offer. It shows you're passionate about what you do, and it shows that you care about them. And people are starving for people to care about them. So when you can embrace this mindset of service and passion and care around your follow-up, making it a fundamental part of your business, you'll never let those stories get in the way, and you'll never lose clients to that. Does that sound good? So if you get nothing else out of this talk today, please walk away knowing you're not being salesy or pushy if you're coming from a place of service. And I have a client, Diane, and she's insurance agent. And she hated follow-up, hated it. She was scared, she wasn't prepared, she didn't know what to say, and she was inheriting all these clients from these insurance agents that were retiring, and she would just send them an email, never hear back, move on, gone, lost opportunity, over and over and over again. So we worked together. She was part of my Power Up Your Sales introductory program. She took that. We ended up working one-on-one together, and we devised a whole strategy with language for her emails and phone messages, and she was getting calls back. These people were coming and meeting with her. She was getting more business because she was finding leaks and things that were missing in their policies, so she was able to offer them more value. And the last time I spoke to her, she said to me, and she was giddy with laughter, she says, "Debbie, I love follow-up now. I love it. I look forward to it," and her business is flourishing. Okay, so number 2, another big challenge is I find that people are not prepared when they're following up. Preparation, like a lot of people just wing it. Preparation provides like the primary foundation for overcoming those fears and limiting beliefs that we've been talking about that stop people dead in their tracks. So one of the things you can do, and Miley beautifully talked about the networking, so I'm not going to go into that today because that's really important to prepare with an intention of what she was talking about, to go from a place of service and not to sell. It's a big part of what I talk about too, is beautifully articulated. So what I'm going to share about today is to prepare what you're going to say when people ask what you do. And the wah, 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 wah that Kathleen was talking about, I mean, so many times I ask people what they do and they go on for 10 minutes. So you don't want to do that. So you want to really prepare what you're going to say when people ask what you do, and don't say your title and that you're an insurance agent or a realtor. You know, share the benefit and value and the experience that people have working with you, because you want them to ask, well, how do you do that? Remember, you're not needing to tell them everything because you want them to lean in. You want to be looking physically to see if they're leaning in, if they're interested in what you're saying, because you want them to ask, okay? So that's number 2, preparation. I have a client who I just spoke to yesterday, and she's a organizer, and she went in to do a proposal to an assisted living facility, and other organizers were putting in proposals. She was so prepared. She put together a beautiful brochure that we talked about, we created together, using language that her clients have used, talking about the benefit and the value they've had working with her. So she's using their language. And this woman was so impressed. She's like, gosh, how do you know all these things? Because she asked her clients, she got the testimonials, and she used those words in the brochure and in her conversation. She got the deal. It was a huge project. And since working with me, she's made, in just like a month, she's made $8,000 and got 5 new clients. And she's calling all these people who she was afraid to call on her chicken list, as I call it. So 3, this is a sensitive issue, but so many entrepreneurs are disorganized. They're not working smart because they don't have a follow-up system in place that they can rely on. So there's a cycle of drop balls and loose ends and clients falling through the cracks. So one of the things you want to do, if you don't have one already, and there was a lot of giggles around this, is getting a CRM. It stands for Customer Relationship Management System. And just the name alone is fabulous. It's about customer relationships, right? That's what it is. So when you follow up with someone, you're continually building the relationship. So you want to get a system that's easy to use, where you can store all of your notes, keep all the information, reminders of the next step when you're going to follow up with that person, so no one will ever slip through the cracks. So my clients that are using CRMs find that they're constantly staying in touch with people, they're staying in touch with them longer, and they're serving them more deeply, they're building deeper connection, and they're getting more business. But you can have the best CRM in the world, but if you don't know what to do with it, you can't maximize the benefit. And that's where I come in. I work with my clients to create a step-by-step follow-up blueprint for their business so that they can convert more of their contacts into clients, again, without feeling salesy. So what I want to share is that underneath, people were talking all day about the why. What's underneath why I'm doing this business is because I'm a stand for people never giving up on their dreams. Because I came so close to going back to a Wall Street job, like so close of giving up my dreams. So I want to encourage people to hold on to their dreams and never give up. So if your business is not where you want it to be, it's probably because you don't have a follow-up system in place, and there's those fears and limiting beliefs and things that might be stopping you. And I would be honored to be on this journey with you. Nothing hurts me more is when people give up and go back to a corporate job because their business is failing because they're not following up. So I just want to really thank all of you for participating. You've been awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Debbie.
Are you a speaker looking to reach more people with your message? You have a global vision that you want to touch the world and make a global difference. If so, I have an amazing opportunity for you. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. You'll find all the details, but here are the highlights. With one application process, you get clarity on your message. You get to fine-tune how you want to reach the world. Then you'll have everything ready in one place for the opportunities when they come. Second, we select you as a finalist. You get to come in and audition with a 7-minute audition, open up the door to hundreds of speaking opportunities. I hope you lean in. I hope you say yes. We would love to hear your message. Help you touch the world powerfully. Again, that's the speaker, talentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your powerful message.